Okay, you should have a copy of the minutes from our prior meeting. Does anyone that was here have any corrections or any comments on those minutes from that prior meeting? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and sign these and approve these minutes from the last commissioners' meeting. At this time, we're going to open up our meeting for a public hearing. We've got a couple of action items for a public hearing today. This first one, we'll be looking to approve or disapprove. We'll consider the conditional use variance on the property located at 1080 Harp Switch Road, Chickamauga, tax parcel 0-091-001B. The request is for MT Property Maintenance, Mike Vasco, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is asking to be allowed to have a 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 accessory building and use it for the sales office for truck and equipment with a maximum of 5 trucks, including equipment to be at site at any one time. He said that all the trucks and equipment will be operational and no repairs will be done. The second hearing was advertised in the Walker County Messenger as being held at May 25th, 2017 at 6:30 at the Walker County Commissioners meeting. See attached Exhibit A. The request has been submitted to the Commissioner for approval. So we have our Chairman, Philip Cantrell, here from our Planning and Zoning. Philip, would you like to speak to this?
We did approve this at the regular meeting. This gentleman, we have pictures. It's a kind of an empty lot area out to itself, and he does not have a lot big enough to have a bathroom and that kind of stuff. So the little office he has to have to be able to accommodate the Georgia automobile license. So anyway, we did approve it. We thought it'd be good that we did not change the zoning of the property. We only approved him to use it, and whenever he quits doing it, the zoning will still stay the same. We did not change zoning.
So this being a conditional use, that stays with the actual property owner, it doesn't transfer to a new owner.
Okay.
So if he sold the property and someone else came and located there, they would have to come back to the planning board.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Is anyone present that would like to speak in opposition of this conditional use variance? Anyone here that'd like to speak in support?
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
I agree with the, once I sell the property, or if I sell the property that would not be using the same aspect. And I don't require a bathroom on the facility, so that wouldn't be an issue for septic of any such nature. My only requirement is a desk and a filing cabinet and a landline. And obviously display of the business, which is at hand.
Okay. So, Christy, the proper notifications were put into the newspaper and the advertisement and everything?
Yes.
Did you have any additional calls or anything come into the office for or against this?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, hearing no opposition, it seems like the board's done a good job of vetting this out and going through the approval process. I'm going to go ahead and approve this with the condition that's indicated on the document that was sent to me from the planning office, that they'll have this conditional use with no more than 5 vehicles at the property at one time. Okay, we do have another item on our public hearing. It's on page 2 of your agenda. This is the second hearing, the first hearing being also at the Planning and Zoning Board meeting. This is for a verbiage change in Exhibit B, Chapter 3, Establishment of Zoning District, Section 6 of the General Commercial Subsection G currently reads as follows. Flea markets or similar outdoor, indoor, outdoor sales complexes. On April 20th, 2017, the Planning and Zoning Board submitted the following recommendations to replace Section G to read as follows. Flea markets or similar outdoor or indoor, outdoor sales complexes. All merchandise outside must be stored in an approved enclosed secure structure from dusk to dawn, excluding 4 days or less annual event yard sale. So what this is doing is addressing that if someone has a full-time outdoor flea market, that they will have to bring those items in at dusk. They can bring them back out at daylight, and so they can have these items secured. So is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition of this change? Okay, hearing none, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this? Okay, yes.
So this is obviously going to be county-wide. I live in Rossville, and obviously we all know about the main flea market there, the main road. So these will go into containers at night. All of the merchandise will then be pulled off the road into secure containers. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, what this is doing would be, yes, that anything that's left outside that's a full-time type business, they would have to bring all those items indoors and secure them, and they just couldn't leave it out in the yard or drive area.
Okay, so are we talking there will be like big pods? Am I hearing that?
Or it could
all
be
of
a
the merchandise
building.
will be brought into a pod and then stored at night, and then in the morning everything's
Right.
put back out onto the road?
Or,
Is that what I'm
or into
hearing?
the frontage of their property.
Yes.
Yeah.
So things will literally be pulled off of
Yes.
from the road
Right.
and put into pods or into a structure of some kind?
Some type of structure. Yeah, that's what this is saying.
So will this be like a code enforced type of situation?
Yes.
If they don't comply with this
Yes.
requirement, they will then be given a citation or a warning or something like that?
Yeah, they'd given a citation warning first, and then most likely on the second offense, and they would be fined. Any of our staff here like to speak to this with planning, zoning, code enforcement?
What we're trying to do is do away with people that have 360-day-a-year yard sales in their yards. They put the stuff out in the neighborhood and it just sits there year round. So by making them take this out of their yard and put it in some kind of approved thing at night and put it back out the next day, we're hoping this will help clean up some of the 360-day-a-year yard sales.
Well, there's a pretty significant difference between a yard sale in front of someone's residence or home as opposed to a full-blown flea market that's on a main thoroughfare, right? That has everything from sofas to bicycles, etc. I mean, obviously, all of it is quote-unquote a flea market type of thing or an outdoor sale type of thing. But there's a distinct visual optic difference between something out in someone's front yard as opposed to the main, like a main thoroughfare through town. I guess I was just wanting to get clarification that all of the merchandise would be pulled off of the street into a structure at night and then put back onto the street in the morning. That's what I'm hearing, and then.
Right.
Yeah, this does allow for someone that's having, like a long weekend or 4-day sale, something of that nature. As Philip indicated, we've got some situations across the county where it's just a 360 or 365-day-a-year yard sale going on nonstop. And we're getting a lot of complaints about those.
I don't know where she's talking about, but up in Midway up there, right across from Rusty's Meat Market there. I mean, it's a 7-day-a-week thing up there. You have to have a humongous building
David's our coach director. Do you have anything to add to this, David?
On that particular one, we are working with them because we did find out that they are leasing that from another individual, and he is working with us to help get it cleared up. They have had, I know, 2 containers hauled off of junk, scrap, furniture that was sitting out next to the road. And it is a slow process, but they are working with us to resolve this problem.
Cause it could be a cause accident there, people look at that, you know, people parking there and pulling out their thing, you know.
Okay. This is an item being a change to our codes, amending our codes here. We'll have to have also a 3rd hearing on this, so we'll have to advertise this and take this up at a future commissioners meeting. So there'll be an ad run into the messenger that will go into the paper next week talking about this. And at the next commissioners meeting, we'll also take public comment and input. And then at that time, we'll move for action on this. Okay, but by law, we have to have that additional hearing. Okay, that will conclude and adjourn our public hearing session, and we'll open back up into our regular commissioners meeting. We have a proclamation today for Foster Parent Appreciation Month. How many do we have in attendance today for that? I know we got a couple over here. Oh, good, good. We're gonna have to do this again. We got a great turnout. So after this is over, y'all stick around and we'll get a picture made together, okay? So don't everybody run off. So let me read this. Foster Care Month, May 2017. Whereas the families serving as the primary source of love, identified self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our community and of our state. And whereas in Walker County, Georgia, there are 171 children and youth in foster care being provided with a safe, secure, and stable home, along with compassion, nurture of a foster family. And whereas a young people in foster care need to meaningfully connection to and caring adults will become a supportive and lasting presence in their lives. And whereas foster, kinship, and adaptive families who open their homes to hearts, support children whose family are in crisis, play a vital role in helping children and family heal and reconnect, thereby launching young people into successful adulthood. And whereas dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster families. And whereas there are numerous individuals, public and private organizations who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children and leaving foster care, as well as enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents, and that the foster care system is only as good as those who choose to be a part of it. Now therefore, I, Shannon Whitfield, by virtue of the authority vested in me as sole commissioner of Walker County, do hereby proclaim May as Foster Care Month in Walker County, and urge all citizens to come forward and do something positive that will help change a lifetime for children and our youth in foster care. So, Commissioner, Walker County. I've got an extra copy here. Okay, so who wants to speak about this? This is your time to put the word out.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Natasha. I am from Walker County DFACS, also known as the Division of Family and Children Services. I am the resource developer there. I maintain foster homes and I try to attain foster homes too. So if you know anyone that wants to be a foster home, they can definitely come and speak with me about it, or you can help in any capacity. Okay, you can do breastfed, you can be a babysitter, you can prepare some food, your church can sponsor our monthly meetings. It's a lot of things that you can do, but we have wonderful, wonderful foster parents that will take our children at 12 o'clock at night for emergency placements when they come into care. So I'm really passionate and very proud to be their resource developer. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Anybody else?
I would like to add, I'm the county director with Walker, DFAX, and just would like to add a special thank you to the county. We do try to give the children that are in foster care as normal a life as we possibly can, and the county does help support us in that effort, and we just wanna say thank you for that.
Absolutely, happy to.
And just to say, this is our longest running foster parent, Mrs. Christy Lewis. So she's been running about 9 years or so.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, has a house full.
So how many children have you fostered? Do you have a count?
A lot.
A lot? Over 20?
Yeah,
Over 50?
probably not over. Well,
Well, we appreciate what you're doing.
She has also adopted children.
Yes.
And made them her own.
Fantastic. Anybody else? Well, I have a somewhat of a personal story here that kind of related to this. We have custody of a 6-year-old little boy in our care currently, and he did not have the opportunity to go to K3. He missed that opportunity. We were able to get him enrolled in K4, but due to some issues with some behavioral things that he was going through, he was unable to finish K4 at the 2 schools that he had been enrolled in. So we was very concerned about him going into K5, but we worked through some of those challenges, and he's doing very well, loves to go to school. And last week he got an award in his class for having the highest grade point average in kindergarten.
wow.
So we were very excited. He's doing fantastic, and to be behind the 8 ball, so to speak, that just shows you how resilient these kids can be and how they can bounce back if they have some love and nurture and attention and have that family bond environment. They can bounce back. So I very much advocate for foster parents, and we try to do the best we can with the little guy we've got. And so I know from what you've done is incredible for the amount of kids that you've fostered. So commend you very much for that. So we thank y'all for being here today and look forward to y'all coming back and being a part of our meetings. Okay, we have some exciting things here. We've got some appointments and reappointments to our library board. The way our library system works, our Cherokee Regional Library System, we have a location in Lafayette, Chickamauga, and Rossville in Walker County, and then also Dade County is part of our regional system. But for Walker County, it's a collaborative effort with the cities and also with the county as far as appointing board members and also our school system. So we have Kay Truman, who will serve a term of July 1, 2017 through June 30th of 2019, filling the unexpired term of Todd Gaddis, who had a job transfer out of town. Lynn Murdoch, Kay will serve at the Lafayette branch, and then Lynn Murdoch will serve at the Rossville Public Library from July 1, 2017 through June 30th of 2019, filling an unexpired term of Ann Russell. And then we're going to reappoint Ruth Bass to the Lafayette Walker Library Board. Her term will be a 3-year term from July 1, 2017 through June 30th of 2020. And then Marie Thomas to the Chickamauga Public Library, being July 1, 2017 through June 30th of 2020. So I have these letters here that we will be sending them as far as their appointments for their service, and tickled to death that they are willing to serve. Our library system, they just do a great job in our community. I've been a board member as well for several years, and my term is expiring June the 30th as well through the city of Chickamauga, so they'll be filling my term over there. The next item that we have is a public announcement about a bid notice that will be advertised in Walker County Messenger beginning next week, May the 29th. The bid process for brush and wood grinding activity at the Walker County Landfill. We do have a copy of that announcement. Basically, we're seeking bids for this process. Bid packages may be obtained at the Walker County Commissioner's Office, here located at the Courthouse Annex 1 at 101 Duke Street, Lafayette, or it's also available on the website at www.walkerga.us. It has all of the specifications, or you can call the Walker County Landfill at 375-8910. The bid notification is effective today. Bid packets available by May 30th. Bids due back in and open on June the 8th, which will be one of our commissioners' meetings here. And bid award will be completed by June the 12th of 2017. So we have Payne Gilly with us today, our landfill manager. Would you like to maybe give the public a little more explanation of what this bid process is going to do for us?
I'd be glad to. We accept brush and wood from Walker County and outside of the county, and it's a large part of our recycling program. But from time to time, we have to grind the stockpile. And working with the Commissioner's Office, we've decided that we're able to reduce the number of grinding events to perhaps 2 a year. And the best way to get the best price is to put it out for bid. We've got several contractors that are interested in this, and we're excited about it. And this is the first step towards, regular grinding at the facility, and also saving the county some money.
So, Payne, if I understand correctly, the bid spec's going to outline that they've got to have that where they grind it down to at least a 3-inch.
It has to pass a 3-inch sieve. We take the ground up material and actually transport it to a corrugated box manufacturer in Stevenson, Alabama, where they use it to power one of their furnaces and to supply power to their facility.
Okay. So this is a very important thing that we do, because we take all this brush and debris that can be reutilized, recycled, turned into fuel, stockpile it, grind it up, and then once it's ground up, then we're able to load it into trucks and haul that over into Stevenson, Alabama, and they actually purchase that material from us as a fuel source. So this helps us to keep from filling up our C&D landfill, and also, as Payne mentioned, to be able to recycle, and also will create some revenue stream from this process.
That's correct. This is our largest recycling episode.
Yeah. So, any questions, comments about this?
Generally, that means the county does not own that grinder out there.
No, the grinder you've probably seen out there, I don't think there's one out there that we own, is it?
No.
Yeah, the grinder you've probably seen out there before was there probably on a lease agreement or contract. Those are pretty good size grinders to do that, yeah. So it would probably, once they get on site with the stockpile we have, will probably take, how many days you think possibly to,
3 to 4 days to grind.
yeah, if they stayed at it. So it's,
We've been accumulating material since December.
yeah. So that's a good program that will benefit the county for. So we've made that announcement there. Okay, item number 4. Tax Commissioner Carolyn Walker had approached me. She has a document here that she needs signed in a public meeting that authorizes her to accept multiple forms of payment. So per OCGA 48-5-146, I, Shannon Whitfield, sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, do hereby authorize Carolyn W. Walker, Tax Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, to accept receipt of personal, company, certified, treasurer, or cashier's check or bank, postal, or express money order in payment of taxes and license fees due to Walker County government received through the office of the tax commissioner. The tax commissioner is further authorized to accept credit and debit card transactions for these payments as authorized by law and accounting practices of the state of Georgia. So from my understanding, and I did run this by our county attorney, and he actually tweaked the language of this a little bit to get us in compliance with this OCGA 48.5-146. Your local government has to give your tax commissioner authority to take anything other than cash money. So a lot of times people's tax bills is, thousands of dollars, and we don't want our citizens to have to bring in cash money, or some people want to put that on a credit card where they can pay that out over at times. So it was brought to my attention by Carolyn Walker that she needed this document to protect her and the citizens of Walker County, that we are authorizing her to be able to continue to do so. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, approval of an appointment of David A. Brown, Deputy Code Official, Exhibit H. Okay. So, in our International Property Maintenance Code, Section 103, Department Property Maintenance Inspector, Section 103.2, Appointments. The code official shall be appointed by the chief appointed authority of the jurisdiction, which in our case would be the sole commissioner's position. Section 103.3, deputize in accordance with the prescribed procedure of this jurisdiction and with the concurrence of the appointing authority, the code official shall have the authority to appoint a deputy or deputies. Such employees shall have power as delegated by the code official. On May 10th, 2017, Sole Commissioner Shannon Whitfield received a letter from W.M. Askew III to appoint David A. Brown as Deputy Code Official. In concurrence with this appointment, I hereby approve David A. Brown as Deputy Code Official. Many of y'all probably know him as Mark Askew instead of William, but Mark Askew has been the Code Official ever since this was put into place, I think back in 2015, I think it was. No, it was earlier than that, whenever this was put into play. And so it does state in here that he can appoint a deputy. The reason we had a need for this is Mark's schedule is working primarily 3 days a week. And so anytime there is a need from a life safety issue or something on those other 2 days, or when Mark may not be available or out on other assignments, David Brown here is our codes director, and he now also will be the deputy codes official. Any questions or comments on this? All right, David, it's official. Good luck. Okay. Next item that we have here is a release of waiver of lien in the amount of $10,527.59 against the said real property of Deborah J. Mize of Lafayette, Georgia, Exhibit I. Is there anyone here in the meeting tonight in reference to this? Or anybody wanted to speak to this? Because I'm not going to read all this legalese stuff. I'll explain this to y'all. Under our international property maintenance, when we have a property that the owners are not willing to bring the property into compliance, there's processes and procedures and documentations and all that the code official can follow and bring it to the order of the sole commissioner to move forward in going onto the property and securing the property if that's the issue, or cleaning up the property. So that happened back last year, I think it was. There was a piece of property that had a lot of safety hazards and a lot of property maintenance issues. And so the former commissioner had the Public Works or Road Department go in and do this cleanup, and they have to document their time and equipment, landfill costs for the debris, if they have to haul anything in to fill in potholes or anything like that, they can do that as well, haul dirt in. So they moved in to actually get this property cleaned up and get it secured, and it generated a $10,527.59 lien against this property, because the way this program works is whatever expenditures that the county can prove that they spent to clean up this property, a lien can be put against that property. The catch is there's also proper procedures and guidelines to do that through the legal system. It was brought to my attention by David Cunningham, local attorney here in Lafayette, that those proper procedures last year were not followed by the prior county's attorney. Therefore, Bank of Lafayette, as the primary lien holder against that property, was not notified properly that this lien was being placed when they were the primary secured lien holder. So therefore, they brought it to our attention. I've had our county attorney involved in this, and we come to an agreement that we needed to release and waive this lien on the actual said property, but this will allow us to continue to pursue the property owner. We are just releasing the lien. So Deborah J. Mize still owes the county $10,527.59, and so we will have to pursue her personally instead of pursuing this through a lien process. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
How much property is it?
It's just a small lot. It's not very, well, I say a small lot. It's just a household lot. I guess I should explain that. Bank of Lafayette did a repossession, and so when they found a buyer for this property and was going through the title search to do this, this popped up. They were not properly notified, and the procedures were not followed by the previous administration. So this is a backlash that we're trying to make right. So it will free up this lien so Bank of Lafayette can move forward with that. So I'll sign this document here to release this lien so they can file this with the court system. And this document is online if anybody wants to read this or wants copies of this. It's all pretty straightforward. Okay, on to number 7, our international property maintenance. Received a email yesterday, come to me late yesterday afternoon, or through the planning office. It was forwarded to me. Lamar Massey of Lookout Mountain had been one of the committee members for the Property Maintenance Codes Appeals Board. It's a mouthful. So Mr. Massey has requested that we receive his resignation from this board. So we have a letter here going back out to him. Mr. Massey, we have received your letter of resignation for the Property Maintenance Codes Appeal Board position. On behalf of the citizens of Walker County, I want to thank you for your service to your community. So we'll send this back to him acknowledging that we did receive his resignation and relieve him of that responsibility. And then with that, we have a new appointment for this position, and we have present with us tonight Alice Campbell. I've asked her to serve in this capacity. She has a real passion for Walker County and wants to see our county prosper. So this letter will go to her. Thank you for your willingness to serve for Walker County by accepting the appointment of the unexpired term of Lamar Massey to the Property Maintenance Code Appeal Board. The unexpired term you are filling will expire on December 31st of 2019. So Alice will take up this position and finish out the term through December 31st of 2019. Again, thank you for your willingness to step up and serve your community. Thank you so much for being willing to do this. This is the documentation for the Walker County Family Connections contract. This is a state grant. It's quite lengthy. You can look at this on the website. This is pretty much standard operating procedure. This grant's been in play, Greg, probably how many years?
Probably 20 years.
Probably 20 years or so. And so the county is basically the physical agent.
Right.
And you want to speak about that?
It just provides a coordinator for various county agencies dealing with family situations, family connection, family crisis center, just to keep from overlapping, doing duplicate duties. We got one coordinator there. It's a 100% state-funded grant, no cost to the county except a little bit of paperwork. And it's been a really good thing for the county for years, so we recommend continuing to do it. So.
Anybody have any questions on this?
How much is the grant? What's the dollar amount?
Yes.
48,000.
Yes, $48,500. So it's a fully funded grant, and the county just provides as the physical agent to manage these funds and handle the distributions of expenses and payroll.
Well, we write about probably 5 checks a month, and that's about all we do.
So this is a great program. This position is currently being held by Susan Wells up in Rossville. She's done this position for several years now. So many of y'all in the room know Susan and know what a great job that she does with that organization and collaborating with all the other agencies in our county. Susan has a real passion for this type of work.
Has it been the same dollar amount for 20 years?
It's fluctuated. Usually they took about 40,000, 45. This is the highest it's ever been at 48.5. So.
I was just in an observation of the incredible need in Walker County and the level of poverty. I just wonder if there was additional funds available from the state of Georgia.
Well, Susan's tried to get everything she can get. She did get an election a few years ago, but we're just hoping the grant doesn't get kicked out by the state. That's been the sweat so far. They almost didn't fund it a couple years ago. So.
Okay, that was the last action item on our business, so we'll officially adjourn our meeting, but we will open up the floor to any general discussion or comments or questions. Who wants to be first? Yes, sir.
Sam, I'd like to know where we stand with Erlanger versus Walker County.
The question is where does Walker County stand in the lawsuit case with Erlanger? We are in an appeals process currently. They're waiting for a decision from the appeals court. And basically, the basis of the appeals is to determine whether or not Erlanger Medical Center is a division or an entity of state government in Tennessee. There are laws on the book that says 2 state entities cannot sue each other in state court. It also says that 2 state entities cannot sue each other in federal court. It states that if you have a lawsuit you need to file against another state entity, so if you're in Tennessee and you want to sue a state entity in Georgia or some other state across the country, you have to do that in the U.S. Supreme Court. And so this appeals is basically trying to determine if Erlanger actually had venue to be able to go to the federal courts. That's where those hearings were held in the past, and Judge Murphy, I believe it was the presiding judge over that case. And so right now, the last order that he signed was for a summary judgment against Walker County for that $8+ million debt. If the appeals court, what the question is that valid? If they, to my understanding, this is over my expertise, but from what I'm being told from legal counsel, that if that comes back, the appeals court has the authority or the ability to basically hit the reset button, as it was explained to me in layman's terms, and they would actually say that case has been thrown out, there wasn't proper jurisdiction, and then if Erlanger wanted to pursue that case, they would have to file a case in the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's, that happened, that appeal process started right around the first of the year. Might have actually even been done in the last part of 2016. So it's been a long process, and there's not been much movement on that. The appeals court's come back with a few questions that they sent to the legal staff, and they answered those questions. And so I don't really know of a time frame, how long or how quick something like that may happen. Good question. All right, any other questions, comments?
I have one more.
Okay.
When you rent rock, one of your main, points of what you were gonna do when you got elected, to assess how much debt Walker County actually had. And we'd all heard a lot of different numbers, and you had come up with some estimates of what you thought it was, and other people had come up with what they thought it was, and I just am curious about how far you have gotten. And I know this is a fairly complex problem.
Yeah, the audit process has been going on for months. Greg, I guess they came in here and started probably
Started about November, but
about November and did a lot of work here on site, and then we run into some hurdles with the defined pension fund, trying to get that all reconciled and get that information. So the local auditors had done all the work that they could do locally, and they've been waiting now for probably a month and a half or so,
at least that is.
waiting to get the information back from the actuarial company out of St. Louis that has handled that process for Walker County for many years, and trying to get everything balanced and in compliance. And so we finally heard back from them and got those documents. What day was that, Greg?
Either last week, first of this week, just real recent.
Okay, just within the last few days. And so that information has been forwarded to the local CPA firm, and they're taking that data and compilating that into the report to be able to have that final report to us. Do they give us any estimate, Greg, on?
June 30th is the best estimate they'll give us.
Okay, so that's the final deadline that has to be done to be in compliance with the state, because we did have to file an extension on that report to the state, and so that has to be done by June 30th. So I'm hoping much sooner than that they have that final report. But we also they've included the Development Authority this time into the report as well, and that had been excluded in the past. So bear with us, we're getting close.
Well, I hope when you come to a final number, that, you know, includes unfunded liabilities, and which your pension costs may have some, I don't know, but, I would like to see you, or Joe Way, publish that in your,
Yes, we will. We'll definitely,
in your little newsletter.
as soon as we get that, we'll make that document, because it'll be over 100 pages, that audit.
Yeah, I don't wanna read, I just wanna see it.
And then we can do that. We can take the summary, take a summary narrative of that, and give, people maybe a 5-minute read summary of the outcome of that.
The audit always has what's called MD&A, which is the first 8 pages, which is a summary of the audits.
Okay. So the first 8 pages, that'd be something somebody may want to look at to get a real summary of the audits, the first 8 pages.
Well, I trust you just to condense it down to 1 or 2 lines.
Okay, we can do that.
For people like me.
We can definitely do that. Good point. Yes, Ms. Adams?
There was an open discussion in our Walker County regarding a study for a stoplight, a traffic light at the intersection of 193 and 341. Can we go on record as to what we can do about that? I know it's a DOT issue.
Yes.
What are the possibilities of that happening?
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. That is a state road. Anytime you see roads in the county or throughout the state that are numbered like 193, 341, those indicate that those are state roads. And so I'm going to be putting a letter together to the DOT and ask them if they would do a traffic study at that intersection. And also we'll provide them with the 911 information to show how many accidents have been reported at that intersection, and give them all the assistance and needed data that they need to do an assessment to see what modifications may need to be done at that intersection to make it safer. There may be, a circumstance where there may be increased traffic count there possibly, or maybe there's something that's causing a blind spot. I don't know, but we want to ask them to come out and do that site assessment and evaluation to see what needs to be done to make that intersection safer.
Thank you.
Yes, good question. Who else? Anybody else?
One of the meetings, I believe we said it's gonna get about 92 mile in Walker County remarked.
Yes,
What
we-
area, you know?
we do need to make a publish that list. There is a list of roads that were approved by the Georgia DOT to restripe and put reflectors and new road signs. I believe it's about 75 miles of roads. That contract was approved and the state of Georgia let that contract. The only downside or negative to that in that contract, the contractor has until December 31st to get the work done. And so it's just one of those things where we're at the mercy of that contract, and it being a state paid venture or grant, we don't have any authority to intervene in with the contractor. So we're basically just waiting for them to get that done. So hopefully before winter time, I would be very grateful if they could get that work done and get that striping and those new signs up, those reflectors. So we're just waiting. All right, what else? Yes.
Do you have any further update, and this would be in the city of Rossville, with the upcoming auction of the Peerless 27 acres? Is there any kind of Northwest Georgia Development Authority involved, or is it just literally going to be an auction, an absolute auction?
Yeah,
This may be out of your specific jurisdiction.
yeah, it being in the city limits, it's not anything we've had any direct involvement in, but what she's talking about there, for those of you that may not have heard, the old Peerless mill there on McFarland Avenue in Rossville is sitting on about
27 acres.
27
in the center
acres.
of town.
There in the center of town is being put up for an absolute auction on June the 15th. And so if there's bidders there, that property will sell that day. And so we're hoping that someone will come into the community that wants to redevelop that site, clean it up, maybe bring some commerce and businesses back into that complex that would be beneficial to our community. So we're very hopeful and excited that someone will come in that wants to develop that. But I have contacted a couple of developers that I knew were always looking for opportunities, just passed the information to them, said, hey, just wanted to make sure you were aware of this, and past that they said, hey, thanks, we'll look into it. So I haven't had any feedback from them or have any knowledge of their level of interest or how many bidders may be there on June the 15th to bid on that property. But we're very hopeful that something positive will happen. That's the Hutchison family. It's had that in their family for many years. So, anything else? All right, it's a quiet group. I do appreciate y'all coming out tonight and being a part of your local government. There's a lot of communities around the world that wish they had this ability to come out and assemble together in public and talk about what's going on in their local community and have direct interaction with the government system. So this is a privilege that many times we take for granted. So I appreciate you being here today and taking part in your county government. So if there's no further questions or comments, we'll stand adjourned and look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks at our next meeting. Thank you.